How's it going? Just in the chicken coop, as you can probably tell in here, and I thought I'd just do a little bit of an update, just showing you a bit of a adjustment we've made to the water feeder. Made a bit of a water feeder for these girls. It's based on the little nipple drippers. Made that a couple of months ago now, and decided just to make it a little bit more efficient, make it easier to fill up and easier to maintain for the girls. So I thought I'd bring you along and show you that, but also give you a bit of a look at how they're going in their pen at the moment. Here's the noisy little ladies. Very noisy Greedy there right now. Hi Blackie. If I can get a bit of a shot at one of their heads. Hey Greedy. You might notice their heads are a little bit messy at the moment. A little bit muddy. It's because they're suffering from a disease here called mango face. It's when the mangoes fall from the tree over there onto the ground after the possums and bats get them. And these girls finish them off. And as you can see by Chicken Little's noggin, mud gets stuck all over the juicy bits that get left on their face, so we always find that rather amusing. That's the green feeder, green feeder cage. It normally sits down on the ground there, on top of, hey, I'm not food, on top of some wheat seeds that we germinate down there. It grows up through the cage and they have a bit of a peck. It's been a bit dry lately, so I've had the cage up and they've just been scratching around. But what they're doing is they're jumping up there on top of that and they're helping themselves to these things here. We've got a whole heap of broad ripple yellow currant tomatoes, and these girls have been hopping up here and feeding on them through the fence. Greedy wants up. Do you want up, Greedy? How about I... Oh, that was a good jump. They've just been hopping up and helping themselves to the tomatoes through the fence. There's a whole heap growing up the top here. Looking a bit wilted because we had some very hot days here the other day. And this tomato plant's just a ferrule growing in the ground on the other side of the fence there. So yeah, it just gets whatever water falls mainly. So yeah, the chooks have been pretty happy really, fighting over their tomato there. Oh, they've got a grasshopper, nice one. So they've been pretty healthy and happy. Chicken Little here, she's looking a bit scruffy. She's actually crook for quite some time. I don't know if I mentioned it before. She was limping a fair bit. We couldn't find any sign of infection. She actually ostracized herself from the group and was sitting by herself. And to tell you the truth, we think it was just depression after the two new blackies came. She just got her nose or her beak out of joint and decided to just spend some time by herself. About a month ago she came good, and then decided to have a bit of a funny molt and ended up with a bare neck and a bare belly. But she's come good after that. We're just waiting for the tail feathers to grow back. She went off the lay the whole time, but she's finally back on the lay, so we're now getting 4 eggs a day again, which is fun. Finding interesting and new ways to use the eggs every day. In fact, we've started to cook some up and feed them back to the girls, so that just helps them with their condition. Helps them basically reclaim calcium as well. Yeah, it's just one of those tricks I picked up actually from Praxis's channel a while back, and since seen it on a fair few forums. The feeder here's been going well, can't complain at all. The eggs, 4 eggs for us to take up there. We've started to use shredded bills and bits and pieces as the nesting box material. I also feed it to the worms, but I figure I might as well give it to the girls as well. They've got their shell grip feeder here. As you can see, there's a few peck marks in it. They still help themselves to shell grip. The waterer, I've actually changed the water around. We made up the drum with the little watering bar, as you can see there. I made that up quite a while ago, a couple of months ago now, and that was their main watering source. But the intention was always to make it a little bit more streamlined and easier to use. So what I've done is I've unscrewed the bar from the old barrel. I've mounted it through a piece of hardwood here, used my good old zip ties to keep it in place, and attached it with some pipe that runs up to a barrel that I'll show you at the moment. So what that means is the barrel isn't sitting here, it isn't getting a lot of sunlight on it, degrading in the sun, getting algal growth inside it. So I'll just trace this back and show you where it originates. It goes down there, excuse my feral cucumber, down under the pavers there. There's actually pavers under this section here. It comes in handy because all this material gets scratched down here, downhill, and I can just bring the shovel in and just scoop this stuff up every couple of months and add it straight into compost and bits and pieces. Goes up here under this mango fight my way through the jungle here, around the corner there, down along the ground where the girls have scratched it up, and into this unit here. I've actually made up a new little nipple feeder. All I've done is use the 20mm or 3/4 inch pipe. There's a fitting, it's a push fitting on the end here that's been glued on. You can see some of the blue glue there, another fitting there. Same fitting but just in an elbow version. It's got the push fitting on one side and a 20mm threaded fitting or a 3/4 inch threaded fitting on the other side. Into that all I've done is screwed a barb fitting. This barb fitting, excuse me, we're filming here. That barb fitting just has a piece of pipe just pushed straight onto it. Same here, just another fitting that I've dodgied up just with a bit of a tap. 20mm pipe and just an elbow there, both barb fittings. And I've drilled a hole through the side of this drum and pushed a grommet through there and just the tap, just so I can isolate it if need be. And this barrel here has inside it a float valve. We can actually dose the girls still with apple cider vinegar. This barrel's UV stabilised HDPE2 plastic and also stops the light from coming through and making algae or letting algae grow in there. So the float valve is connected to this pipe here that runs up the ground, along the ground there. It actually isn't in its final position yet because I want to muck around with that with the aquaponics. Also use that hose as an auto top up for the aquaponics. And it comes from that tank all the way up there. So that's our top up water tank for the aquaponics and also the top up water tank for the chickens. The idea being that I can just top up the one tank and it will service both units, the chickens waterer and also the sump tank in the aquaponics. So it's very basic, very easy to make. This is just dodgy, don't pay any attention to that. But for the holes, I'm fairly sure it's a 9mm hole that you just drill straight up into the PVC and you can just screw these little nipple attachments in. They've got a little silicone washer just in there that you can use. If you do stretch the hole and do make a bit of a mistake, all you need to do is grab some of that white Teflon tape. You might be able to see some of it just stuck around there. Just that white Teflon tape, just wrap that around the thread and then screw it in. And that should fix any leaks that you're going to have there. This isn't the final arrangement either. This is just something I just dodgied up on the day. I actually want a couple more brackets, but I'm going to wait and see if I can make some out of some scrap tin first. And I'm going to make up a similar arrangement as you saw in the chicken house. A bit of hardwood with this mounted on the hardwood and then onto the fence itself. But for the time being, this serves its purpose. Do you want a drink, love? Would you like a drink? No, not interested. So there you go, there's a bit of an update on the girls and how they're going at the moment. Yeah, I think they're pretty happy. They've now got self-service water out here in the yard as well as in the pen. Just makes it easier so we can segregate them too if need be, I suppose. The mango season, they're really loving the mango season. We've had about half a dozen drop at the moment. I think 3 of them have been ripe and there's a couple of green ones laying around. It only takes about a week or so and the green ones ripen up and then the chooks can hook into them. I think they enjoy the ones that have been blown by the fruit fly because they get a bit of extra protein, so that keeps them happy. A bit of diversity in their diet as well, that along with the tomatoes, you know, something they don't normally get. Not many chickens have self-serve, you know, tomato and mango bars that I know of. I suppose that's Bianca ringing. It was my mum actually. Okay, mum. Yeah, so the chooks are going great. They're actually here having a bit of a scratch around at the moment, just in the ground, digging through and seeing what they can find. You gonna say goodbye, girls? No, I didn't think so. Yeah, so I'll pretty much will leave it there. If there's any comments, questions or suggestions that you guys have, just pop them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. And there's also those clips up the side there. Just check those guys out if you're interested in how the water was made, and also too how the little green feeder unit's been put up. So yeah, they're pretty easy jobs, and most of the part chicken scrounge you don't really need to buy, or you can buy really cheaply at recycle centres. So well worth looking into. And also too, there's also heaps of projects out there on YouTube and different websites and forums, so check them out as well. I'll put a link to the one chicken forum I really like. Yeah, what I do isn't always the bee's knees. There's heaps of different projects out there, so have a bit of a look around the web and there's something that's bound to pop up that'll suit you guys. So there we go. I'll stop nattering on and I will leave it there. So have a great one and take it easy. Catch ya. They're playing chasey. Oh no, she's got a grasshopper, or a bit of a grasshopper. She's trying to find somewhere to sit down and eat it. Come on, love, finish it up. I don't want to know what goes on around there.